Okay, everyone, breaking here on the mix. Judge Torres, who is, by the way, I believe, I'm 99.99999% sure it's a female judge. Well, Judge Torres has responded to the many motions filed by Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's attorney, far left here, over here. And it's just been, Alex Spiro and Jay-Z has been begging the judge since December 13th, probably earlier or sooner, to dismiss the case. And finally, the judge has responded, but I need for you guys to like this video, share this video first, share, like, it helps push your girl through the algorithm. Yes, it does. Hit that cash app, that zelle in the description section, and the tree link, PayPal as well. All donations go towards content enhancement creation. Hit that super chat, that super thanks, you guys. That helps your girl, that helps the mix, my channel. But yeah, so let me go ahead and dive into the official court response, and then I'll end with that. But yeah, let's see what Judge Torres had to say, because Judge Torres tore a nice piece of chunk of the out of Alex Spiro's, you know what, Jay-Z's attorney. Let me go ahead and go over the court response, and I will leave it at that. I will be doing a deep dive on Judge Torres, and as you can see, female judge, so she ain't playing this bullying tactic. Who are you? You ain't my boss. That's what I gathered from her response. So let me go ahead and share this with you guys. Like this video, share this video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Here you go. The day after Christmas, and this is breaking news. Official. Okay, Judge Torres order in the Doe versus Combs Carter case. Yarna Jane Doe has officially responded. Remember, I think it is to my understanding that Alex Spiro, attorney for Jay-Z / Rock Nation, filed several motions. Basically, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, trying to strong arm and bully the judge into making an emergency emotional decision regarding his motions to dismiss and other motions, flagrant in my opinion. Well, the judge has responded a day after Christmas. Let's get into it. And it's to my understanding, the judge is a female judge, Judge Torres. See here, this is the caption. United States District Court, Southern District of New York, Jane Doe versus who? Sean Combs, Daddy House Recording Inc., etc. Skip down to the end. And also who else is here? Sean Carter. Judge Torres responds to the plethora, significant amount of consistent motions filed by Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, Snake Z's attorney, in my opinion. Okay, so Analisa Torres, and again, to my understanding, this is a female judge. I was going to do a breakdown of the judge. Matter of fact, I still am, so stay tuned, stay connected to the mix. Drop a like, share this video, help push your girl through the algorithm. Okay, let me jump right into it. I won't hold you. It's only 5 pages. So, plaintiff Jane Doe, let me maximize it here. Plaintiff Jane Doe filed this action on October 20th, 2024, alleging violation of the New York City Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Acts in NYC administration, and it goes to citing the code, the statute, meaning law. By order dated November 6, 2024, the court provisionally granted plaintiff's motion to proceed anonymously, explaining that defendants had to yet appear in this matter and that the balance of interest weighing for or against anatomy may shift as her suit continues. Okay, the judge continues to cite in the judge's response. On December 8, 2024, plaintiff amended her complaint to add Sean Carter, known professionally as Jay-Z, as defendant. See, plaintiff again sought leave to proceed anonymously, and it looks like they're citing case law here. But this time, Carter's counsel appeared and moved to deny her motion, or in the alternative, to dismiss her amended complaint pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedures, and they get to citing more case law, in my opinion. Carter also moved for an expedited hearing on the issue. The next day, Carter's attorney filed a letter containing a declaration from an associate at his law firm recounting a phone conversation she had with an unnamed woman who claimed that plaintiff's counsel encouraged her to lie about her experience of sexual assaults. Carter's lawyer asked the court to consider this additional information in connection with plaintiff's motion to proceed anonymously. Plaintiff's counsel denied Carter's allegations against him. So basically, again, like I said, I'm interjecting here. Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, he filed so many different motions. He going like to war for Jay-Z. And to me, I think it's flagrant and frivolous. If you know your client is innocent, then you should be skilled enough to get to court and to be able to fight this, to litigate this in a skilled, tactful manner within the confines of the law. No dirtiness. Okay, so The judge further cites on December 13, 2024, Carter's attorney filed an additional letter. I keep telling y'all, they was begging the judge. Yes, Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, was begging the judge. They begging the judge. Okay, so the judge says on the 13th, Carter's attorney filed an additional letter altering the court to a recently published interview of plaintiff on NBC. And let me just jump in. It seems like all of this was staged, but go ahead. But let me go ahead and let's let this judge cook. Okay, so in the interview, plaintiff, speaking anonymously, explained her allegations against defendants and her reasons for coming forward now. See, generally, Carter's lawyer points to the interview in which plaintiff admitted to inconsistencies in her story as evidence that plaintiff's claims had no factual basis whatsoever. He also argues the plaintiff's counsel violated federal rule of civil procedures by failing to undertake a reasonable inquiry into the facts before filing a complaint and failing to seek admission pro hac vice to this court. Carter's attorney requested an expedited briefing scheduled for a motion to strike the first amended complaint under federal rules, civil procedures, etc., etc. Okay, let me interject really quickly. I want to speak to what the judge pointed out. Hey, brain freeze. Let me continue. So the next day, Carter's counsel submitted yet another filing, a motion for an emergency order directing the preservation of evidence and striking the amended complaint under rule, etc., etc. Okay, motion to proceed anonymously. In deciding whether a plaintiff may proceed anonymously, courts balance the plaintiff's interest in the autonomy against both the public interest in disclosure and any prejudice to defendant. And then the judge is citing this. The Second Circuit has laid out a non-exhaustive list of factors to be considered. Let me go back up here. I wanted to also point out too, and I will drop the link in the description section, you guys. I'm interjecting really quickly. Look at the Lil Rod's case. I said when in court. It was a content I did on Lil Rod. His attorney Blackburn, he was sued too by Jay-Z's peoples, not attorneys, but corporate buddies. And I think they filed like defamation and something else too, basically saying that Attorney Blackburn did not, the Attorney Blackburn needed to have sanctions against him. But that particular judge denied it. Head on over to the description section of this post so you can hear the reason why the judge denied the UMG, Jay-Z's, them buddies, corporate buddies, why the judge denied their request and dismissed the case against Attorney Blackburn. So Attorney Blackburn, who's handling Lil Rod's case, will proceed and all is well, and etc., etc. So I thought about that case when it came to this, when it came to the many, many motions Jay-Z's attorney is filing against attorney Tony Busby. I'm like, no, because that other judge ruled in that case, that other case, Lil Rod's attorney case, and that particular judge reasoning seems like it would probably apply to something like this. So, but let me continue. So, motion to proceed anonymously in deciding whether a plaintiff may proceed anonymously. Court balances the plaintiff's interests. Okay, let me go to number one. Whether the litigation involves matters that are highly sensitive and of personal nature, whether identification possesses a risk of retaliatory, physical, or mental harm to the parties seeking to proceed anonymously, or even more critically, to innocent non-parties, whether identification presents other harms and the likely severity of those harms, including whether the injury litigated against would be incurred as a result of the disclosure of the plaintiff's identity. Number four, whether the plaintiff is particularly vulnerable to the possible harms of disclosure, particularly in light of her age. Number five, whether the suit is challenging the actions of the government or that of private parties. Number six, whether the defendant is prejudiced by allowing the plaintiff to press her claims anonymously, whether the nature that prejudge, if any, differs at any particular stage of litigation, and whether any prejudice can't be mitigated by the district court. Number seven, whether the plaintiff's identity has thus far been kept confidential. Number eight, whether the public's interest in the litigation is furthered by requiring the plaintiff to disclose her identity. Number nine, whether because of the purely legal nature of the issues presented or otherwise, there is an weak public interest in knowing the litigants' identities. And number 10, whether there are any alternative mechanisms for protecting the confidentiality of the plaintiff. A court is not required to list each of the factors or use any particular formulation as long as it is clear that the court balanced the interests at stake in reaching its conclusion. Here, the weight of the factors tip in favor of allowing plaintiffs to remain anonymous, and let's for this stage of the litigation. Factors 1, 2, 4, and 7 weigh strongly, and the judges pointed out these are the factors in her review as to why the plaintiff will remain anonymously in favor of anatomy. In her amended complaint, plaintiffs alleged that defendant drugged, which we already knew from the previous complaints, and raped her when she was only 13. Compliance courts in this district have recognized that allegations concerning sexual assault are highly sensitive and of extremely personal nature. In case laws being cited, let me jump down here. Plaintiffs is particularly vulnerable to the possible harms of disclosure. More case law cited. According to her amended complaint, she continues to express depression, post-traumatic traumatic stress disorder, and seizure disorder associated with the stress of her sexual assault. Denying disclosure in part because of the risk it posed to plaintiff's already fragile mental health. Moreover, plaintiff's counsel asserts that many of his other clients who have filed similar lawsuits against Sean Combs claims to have been threatened by Mr. Combs for their decision to speak out. More case law. And finally, although plaintiff sat for an interview with NBC News concerning her case, NBC allowed her to conduct the interview anonymously. Boom, mic drop. The judge further cites in her response, granted, several factors weigh against allowing plaintiffs to proceed anonymously. Plaintiffs is challenging the actions of private parties, not the government, and given the media attention surrounding this case, the public has a substantial interest in this litigation, separate and apart from its general interest in an accused being able to publicly confront an accuser. Case law cited. Okay. Alternative mechanisms may exist to protect confidentiality, namely the redaction and sealing of anatomy may cause prejudice to defendants, making it more difficult to them to collect the facts necessary to mount a defense and, as appropriate, challenge plaintiff's credibility. Combs, she cites more case law, and looks like a Puff Daddy case law, identifying the most significant form of prejudice in defendants as discovery disadvantage that plaintiff's anatomy would present. The court does not take such prejudice lightly. Nevertheless, at this exceedingly early stage in the case, the factors counseling against disclosure outweighs those that counsel in favor. More case law being cited. Boom. Requiring the plaintiff to identify herself as the case approached trial. Okay. Accordingly, plaintiff motion to proceed anonymously is granted. Boom! Judge grants Busby's client to proceed anonymously. Okay. The judge further cites plaintiff is advised that because the balance of these factors will certainly shift as this case proceeds, especially if and when the parties engage in discovery in earnest, the court intends to revisit this decision at a future date. Y'all, this case ain't being dismissed, and I've said that before under comments and other places on social media. I knew it. Any judge in their right mind would not dismiss this case because it will become a trifecta in the legal industry, and they don't want that. It's money to be made, cases to be heard, careers to be elevated, in my opinion. Let me keep going. The judge further cites remaining motions. Since Carter's attorney first appeared in this case 17 days ago, woo! She pointed out the numerical. He has submitted a litany of letters and motions attempting to impunge the character of plaintiff's attorney, many them expounding on the purported urgency of this case. Cited case law, describing plaintiff's counsel as self-promoting and accusing him of extortion. More case law. Requesting to be heard on an expedited basis and accusing plaintiff's counsel of exploiting the legal process to generate media attention. Asserting that plaintiff's counsel seeks only to benefit himself. Requesting the shortening of a deadline from 21 days to 1 day. I remember this. I said, who the hell does this? Is the mix interjecting. I'm like, who the hell is Alex Spiro to say, I want this to be expedited from 21 days, which is the rules of procedures for law, civil law. I want you to respond in one. I want the attorney to respond, the plaintiff's attorney to respond in 1 day. Who the hell you think you are? I knew the judge, and when I found out I did a little digging on the judge, it's a female judge, I'm like, oh, she ain't buying this. Who the hell you think you is trying to chief me and boss me? I'm the motherfucking judge. Okay, let me continue. Describing plaintiff's counsel as willingly to blatantly violate the court ethical obligations, all attorneys, and requesting a hearing on a motion the following day. So basically, the judge was, citing what Jayz's attorney Alex Spiro said in his several motions and letters and shit to the court, begging the judge. Okay, so the judge further cites Carter's lawyers relentlessly filing of combative 12 motions containing inflammatory language and attacks is inappropriate and waste of judicial resources and a tactic unlikely to benefit his client. The court will not fast track the judicial process merely because counsel demands it. Mike Drizop. Judge Torres like, dude, just because you want me to fast track this, change some rules, etc., you think I'm gonna follow you? Hell no. No, I won't. See, you guys, Jayz them used to getting their way through the courts, buying and paying, allegedly, people. Okay. The judge further cites, moreover, although Carter's attorney assails plaintiffs' lawyers as having a chronic inability to follow rules, Carter's counsel has failed to abide by the court's clear rules under the court's individual practices in civil cases. Oh, the judge cited the civil rules of procedures all attorneys must follow. It says this, these are the civil rules, y'all. And with limited exceptions, pre-motion letters required prior to the filing of motions, although Carter's attorney stated that he intended to file immediately a motion to strike the first amended complaint under rule blah, 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 number 12, he did not give plaintiff the requisite 5 days to respond. See individual practices. Wait for the court to set a motion schedule and also or state whether any exception to the court individual's practices apply. This is unacceptable. Counsel is hereby advised that any further motions filed in violation of the court's individual practices may be denied on that ground alone. She said, Ninja, you ain't following the rules, and let me explain to you the rules that you have not followed, and you have not allowed opposing counsels the opportunity to respond under certain rules and procedures as well. So anything further you file with this court, I might just deny it just because of this. Boom. Lastly, although Carter's attorney is entitled to file a Rule 11 motion without first seeking leave of court, seek individual practices, the court discourages this approach. If he still intends to serve plaintiff with a motion for sanctions, the court denies his request to shorten the safe harbor provisions contained with Rule 11 from 21 days to 1 day. Y'all, I've mentioned this in plenty of other videos too I've done on this. Yeah, Jayz's attorney basically wants sanctions to be brought against the plaintiff's attorney Busby, citing that basically he's abusing the court system, which is not the case, y'all. In my opinion, it's not the case. Busby is doing what any other civil lawyer has always done. This is nothing new. So I'm just not, I don't even understand the sense of urgency with Jayz and his attorney. They just like panicking, Uzi popping and panicking. Sheesh. But finally says this Carter's motion to strike the amended complaint under Rule 12 is denied. By January 10, 2025, plaintiff shall file her response to Carter's motion for an order directing the preservation of evidence. By January 17, 2025, Carter shall file his reply, if any. The clerk of court is respectfully directed to terminate the motions. Boom! Judge Annalisa Torres, United States District Judge, and to my understanding, this judge was appointed by the Obama administration. Yes, so she's a Democratic judge, and I'll be doing a deep dive on Judge Torres. Yes, so let me know y'all thoughts, you guys. This is directly from this is my first time in a long time I'm going over actual court documents. I hope you find this information well. Drop some comments in the chat, like this video, share this video, let me know your thoughts. Stay tuned, stay connected to the community section. I'm running some polls on this. So the judge has denied Jayz's attorney's request, said, just follow the rules and wait till I tell you to move. When I move, you move. Just like that. Judge Torres ain't playing with them, meaning Alex Spiro and Jayz them and Rock Nation them. This judge seems like she's tough and can't be bought. So let me know your thoughts. The case will proceed. The judge has not dismissed anything. This is being held in the court of law, not the courts of public opinion. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.